This brings to mind the story of a crawling baby girl who, due to the carelessness of the caregiver, poured out boiling water on herself. You are welcome to this YouTube channel. My name is Jesu Toba, and if today is the first time on this channel, you are welcome. Make sure you click on the subscribe button below and click on the notification bell so that you can always be notified of new uploads. If you wish to support us in any way, perhaps this is not your first time here and you like what we do, just do so by giving this video a thumbs up. Make sure you watch it through to the very end and drop a comment in the comment section. This makes the message to spread to other parents and gives us good rating with YouTube. God bless you. Now to the matter at hand, we shall be discussing the signs of a bad caregiver. You ready? Let's go. The term caregiver is used to refer to anyone taking care of or responsible for children. For example, parents, teachers, child care providers, nannies, grandmas, early child care educators, and so on and so forth. Now, what are the signs of a bad caregiver? 1. Your child is reluctant or unhappy to see the caregiver, or in a case where it's school, your child doesn't want to go to school, and even after being around the teacher or the caregiver for a considerable number of days or weeks. When your child becomes anxious or withdrawn, these are all signs that your child may be under a bad caregiver. Because especially when you're dealing with young children, they need to be able to love and trust the caregiver. So be mindful of these warning signs. 2. If the caregiver or your child seems secretive about how they have spent the day, this is something that shouldn't be a secret. So if your child, for example, is an established talker, maybe about 3 to 4 years old and upwards, and the child never tells you anything about, the activities that he has done while under the care of the caregiver, or even if the caregiver himself or herself, never tells you anything about your child, this could be a sign that something could be wrong. So you need to be much more observant, especially in a case whereby you ask your child and he or she does not tell you anything. So as parents, we need to be very mindful by being friendly with our children. This is very important so that we can be close to their hearts and rule out, or possibly quickly detect if they are in danger or could be in harm's way. So if your child's caregiver is not telling you anything, is not bringing you up to speed about your child's activities, it could even be like a complaint. This child was extremely playful today. These are the things he did and all that. At least it makes you to have an idea of what is going on. But when the caregiver says nothing and you ask your child, especially when he's not a baby and he or she cannot tell you anything again, it could be a negative sign. So if it's in your house that the care is being, carried out, you may want to install a hidden camera. And if it's a school system where you wouldn't be able to install a hidden camera, it would be advisable if you could, get one of your child's colleague in school, that are in the same class or wherever, to, stylishly get information from them about your child's welfare. And I believe this would be able to help one way or the other. However, you must be very careful in handling such sensitive information so that you don't create more problems and make the situation more complex. Okay. And it would be much better if your child has a sibling in the same class or in that same school, and they could, give you 1 or 2 insight into what might be going on. Now, 3. When your child has been involved in multiple accidents that could have easily been avoided, especially in the case of young children, this is a sign. When you've noticed bruises and things like that repeatedly on your children, cuts, bruises, and you've made necessary complaint, and or you've tried to warn or call the attention of the caregiver, and this did not stop. This did not stop. There was no changes. You need to be very careful. Take extra care to be very observant and watchful, because every caregiver that you can trust your child with needs to be very vigilant and watchful to know what your child is doing part time, especially when they're younger children, in order to prevent them from getting injured and into accidents. So it's possible that a caregiver might be just careless or leaving your child unattended whenever he or she is asleep or while he or she is playing, and that will not be in the best interest of your child's safety. This brings to mind the story of a crawling baby girl who, due to the carelessness of the caregiver, poured out boiling water on herself, and this left a huge scar all over the girl's body. And it was not her fault, it was just the carelessness of the caregiver who left the water within the reach of the baby girl. So we have also heard of stories of where caregivers caused, fire outbreaks and fire accidents while taking care of babies in the house. We all need to be very mindful and careful of who we hand our children over to. I also remember the story of this Sylvester Oromoni boy, whom his father said before his death they actually noticed signs of him being bullied in the school, and they reported to the school authorities. But the measures that the school took was not enough to keep that boy safe, and eventually, that cost him his life. So I pray that God will continue to keep and protect our children wherever they are at every point in time. However, as parents, we need to do our part to make sure that we are very watchful of whom we hand our children over to, because parenting is a partnership with God, and we must not neglect our own part. If you have any intuition in your heart, especially as a mother, that this person, you shouldn't leave your child with this caregiver, please do not hesitate to take your child elsewhere or to get another person to come and look after your child, because safety comes first. Don't look at it that money or whatever. Just do what is best so that your child can remain alive for you. And I pray that we will not be victims, and that will our children be, in Jesus' name. So till my next video, if you have gotten value from this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up below and subscribe below too, and click on the notification bell so that you can get updates on every new video we release. This is the way that you can support us. Okay, this is the way that you can show us your love by watching all our videos through to the end, giving us a thumbs up, making sure you subscribe and clicking on the notification bell, and also drop a comment in the comment section. This helps YouTube to keep promoting our videos, and it helps us to get encouraged, and we keep doing more. So till I come your way again in my next video, see you. And in the next one we shall still be talking about bad traits of a bad caregiver. Thank you and goodbye.